Hey everyone, and welcome to a little Planet Zoo update. Today we finally have the announcement of the upcoming 1.8 update, which is coming to Planet Zoo the 14th of December, and this one is very good. I have the feeling that Frontier is really getting stepped up each update they give us, and this I called this already on Twitter. This is the picnic table moment, and I'm scrolling down to show you what I mean. So we finally have boxless counters. What that means is basically you can put down a shop, which is essentially just the staff member and a couple of facility items such as the cashier and the little display here, but everything else is basically invisible and you can build it yourself, which goes very much along with the upcoming restaurants, which I'm not going to cover too much because we have talked about the restaurants in deep last week. If you want to see the video, bubble to your top right, as always, click it, check it, whatever. We are going to discuss quickly these updates in here. I don't want to keep this too long because I figure most of you have seen that, I'm a little bit late because of work and stuff like that, but I think this is in particular a very, very great update because there are so many little things in here that improve the game dramatically, and that I'm really hoping that Frontier is continuing on giving these many great updates each and every cycle, which is essentially just 2.5 or 3 months, if you will, and that is pretty good. So what do we have? Now, first of all, we talked about restaurants and we talk about the shops now. Shop counters will be available to place down, and they will be for the Bernie Bakes, Sheaf Beef, Cosmic Cow, Gulpy Energy, Gulpy Slush, Hot Dog Squad, Pipshot Smoothie, and Street Fox Coffee. So all in all, I really should say that this is a good range of different types of products you have in here. Essentially, it only changes the products, I guess, you have in this display. So don't mind this too much. We've got drink and food, and that's about it. I'm wondering, though, if we don't get an information kiosk here. That's a bit of a pity, but we can figure a way to do that, I guess. So pretty much the beautiful picnic table moment. For those of you who don't know the story, 2017 on the Frontier Expo, there was a moment in which the new trailer was launched, and that was actually in Kuali Beach, which made us very proud back then. And then all of a sudden people really sat down at a picnic bench, and you have to imagine at that time Planet Coaster did not feature any kind of arrangement where people would sit down in a group. It was only the benches, and that's about it. And now they brought this feature picnic benches, which even could stand next to the path, which, the path in this game. So it was a huge thing, and people went nuts about it, and everyone else who wasn't into the Planet Zoo bubble or Planet Coaster bubble was like, what the hell is going on with these people? Why are they going to freak out about picnic benches? And essentially, this is what's going on here. I freaked out so crazy, and also in the Kuali group, I can assure you that the Kuali chat went nuts when we saw that there are going to be boxless counters, especially a certain Eben is like, well, I already told him he has to redo all the restaurants. Apparently now he has to really redo all the restaurants, so that's cool. Next up are Burrows, and before we actually do too much, I'm going to show you something real quick here. There you go. We have a wonderful picture of the Burrows, and this is, I think, already inside of the Burrows via the camera. I'm quite sure that is. And this already ensures that we have one more animal that wasn't able to go into a burrow quite yet, and that is the Aardwalk, which is one of the animals that many people were talking about when they talked about the fact that we need more caves for animals such as the Aardwalk, and quite interesting to see who is going to receive all these burrows. Now let's quickly go back to the post over here, and this is pretty much what we can await with this. So dig down deep with our new animal burrowing behavior just in time for winter. This allows certain animals to explore burrows that can be freely placed in your zoo, giving the place to seek for shelter, sleep, adjust to the correct temperature, or even give birth. So there's a couple of things happening in there. The entrance will be always aligned to the terrain, which leads to an underground chamber that will position itself below the entrance, which is kind of cool. But that's not all. The burrows come with an internal habitat cameras. That's just what we've seen, that you can access through the burrow info panel. So you can see exactly what's happening underground. Plus, with the ability to link the billboard screens, that means your guest won't miss out on them either, which is pretty dang cool. Now, next thing is the animal memorials, and I'm going to keep that short. There is a lot of basic infos about this. You can basic info about this. You can read that yourself if you want. But basically, essentially, what that is, it means we can finally have a real memorial for our animals. So this doesn't only add a certain level of detailing or, you know, customization. This is actually connected to the animals that were in your zoo, so with the stats of them and so on. So it will boost your overall performance of the zoo, because essentially the guest will get a little appreciation of this. They will get a little boost when reading this, and you can put these things down and they will actually be connected to these things. So that's pretty cool. So also you can't have too many, so this will have a max entry level of 200, so you can't have like incredibly loads of them, but I think it's cool, and I think it adds such a feature which is so tied to zoos, and I'm going to scroll down so you can see that, and it gives such a lovely little nod to all the animals that had in your zoo, and it actually gives a bit more character to the animals, so that they are not assets anymore, to speak the language of Jurassic Park or world. They are actually living creatures that you cared for a while, especially in franchise mode and so on, and we love to give them names and so on, and so that's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. I love this little feature. It will really add a lot of little things to your zoos, and yeah, I like the fact how they really implemented that as a proper feature and not only an item you can place down, actually linked to the stuff. We get 3 different versions of it: a plug screen, which is a screen, it's basically a billboard. We've got a memorial plaque in brass, and we have one in limestone, so that's pretty cool. And this is the new piece, and I guess this is essentially also a new piece, or at least a little bit different, but it's really, really cool, and I love this. So that's about it already. There's not really that much more to talk about, but these are some really, really cool changes, and I'm quite sure we are going to get some very cool info about a upcoming DLC very soon. I have no info, but as we all know, Frontier, there's never going to be a free update without a DLC at this point, so we can assume that there is going to, you know, be something, because somewhere the new foliage item that we have seen in the picture of the restaurant has to come from somewhere, you know. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. Again, there's not really that much more to talk about. I hope that they will give us some more info in the live stream that is going to start quite soon after you've potentially seen my video, and yeah, just tune in there and have a look at what they will have in store for us. Haha. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I talk to you in the next one.